Hello, everyone. This is Henry Schneider with the Business Performance Podcast, and today it's my pleasure to speak with Brent Brightwell, who's the VP of Marketing at Phunware. I've known Brent for several years. He's been a very interesting guy, lots of cool experience. So welcome, Brent.
Thank you very much, Henry. It's good to chat with you again. I know we've had some great conversations. I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay, wonderful. So, Brent, let's get started. Can you briefly describe Phunware, who your customers are, and the types of products and services you provide?
Yeah. So Phunware is an enterprise software company. It's about 10 years old. It was the founders, Luan and Alan, essentially architected the app economy that we know today, back before there was one, before there were places to be able to build and promote apps. And has built some of those amazing applications and services and now technologies that are in the market today. It's clear that we're thinking apps first and devices, and they had that vision very early on. And they're still together 10 years later, still in a very good growing business and a great market. The types of customers that we cater to have been all over the place. Anybody who wants to have an amazing mobile experience and be able to provide that, not just to be able to provide something that looks visually good, because we're very much a design-led company, but also is very functional and very applicable to their venues. We serve a lot of verticals, and some of the key verticals that we've been very successful in is healthcare. Especially when it takes what it takes to be able to get someone from home to the parking lot, to the front door, into the appointment, find their way around the building, and so on. And the type of technology that we build, and we're very much a technology company with lots of great IP and patents and innovations, enables that. And for some of our customers, we do everything for them. We call it the soup to nuts. They come to us, and we do that for some of the biggest brands in the world, like Fox and several others, and then we do it also for those healthcare I mentioned, and venues and stadiums and sporting teams and so on. I said we were an enterprise software company because that's really what the company has built. It's built enterprise-grade, stable, strong, viable, secure applications for some of the most pressing events and things that you've seen or witnessed online. And the enabling technologies it takes to do that is usually our underlying technology. Not a well-known brand here out of Austin, Texas, and that's why I joined. I joined because I knew it had this strong technology and the technologists. It had all the key ingredients of a successful unicorn, but it needed the sales and marketing push to be able to let the world know, bring that candle from underneath the table and lighten up the room. So that's why I've been working really hard on the last few months, as I work with my boss, Randall Crowder, and the founders to be able to really promote the company and the brand.
Okay, so I'm just kind of curious, what's the origin of the name Phunware with PH? What does it mean?
Well, the founders of the company have always taken usability, UX, right, customer experience. They come from a strong technology and product background with some very large companies and brands that we know, like Cisco and others. And they knew when you're using a device and when you're in a very short distance, that it had to be highly functional and usable and stable, but it had to be extremely appealing, and it had to be very simple. So now gamification gets talked about a lot, but 10 years ago it was being talked about in gaming companies. You may have heard it from Zynga or a few others who were building apps out. That's exactly what they started doing, but doing this for enterprises. They were telling them that you can't have a large, complex, difficult application. Your web application may be that grown into something like that, but your mobile experience can't be that way. And that's where the fun denotes gamification and enjoyment. You want to be able to enjoy the apps you interact with. And where is, of course, like from hardware, software, firmware, and Phunware.
Oh, okay, great. So when you look at your customers now, what is the importance of quality to your customers?
Boy. So as an enterprise software company, I know that name gets thrown around a lot, but you really have to think of it like when you're building something for a company, an enterprise software company or an enterprise company, it fails, it's not like, oh, well, we just go do something else. People may not be able to find their way from point A to point B. They may not be able to get to the most depressing appointment. They may not be able to get to the location. People could be harmed, die, right? That's a very important part of it, especially in healthcare. But also when you're the main venue for a large event, there's 100,000 people roaming around. You want to make sure that they have everything they need before, during, and after. So the key thing with an enterprise software company is to take that extremely seriously. That means you're coding it, you're architecting it, you're engineering it, you're testing it, you're documenting it, you're making sure everything works and works well. Anybody can build an app. You and I here can build an app this afternoon using tools. But could we build something that somebody who needed it could be life-threatening, live or die by? Could it stand up to that? You and I wouldn't sign up for that. We would go to someone like Phunware. So that's what separates Phunware from all of the others, is that they have done this for years and been able to build that out and make it as strong, secure, and reliable as possible. And has really set industry standards in so many different areas, especially with all the patents and IP that we've been able to build, and lets people know that this is the standard that you need to code by in the app economy.
Okay.
You can't take shortcuts.
All right. So when you're talking to your customers or potential customers, what are some of the biggest myths or misconceptions they have about quality and performance and the ability to deliver?
Yeah, well, for a lot of them, we were saying app first, or devices first, back when, when it was still a web-centric world. Now people have come around to that. So a lot of them started off with just building a web-based application and then making that's recursive enough to be able to fit on my phone, and then there you go. And we all know that doesn't work. If you can remember trying to use your Wells Fargo Bank of America app, which is really baked inside of a browser, before you actually have a focused app, there's a huge difference in what you're trying to do with your mobile phone when you go to your banking app versus when you're online and you're doing it there as well. So that was the first thing, get over that hurdle. Once we get over that hurdle, then it came down to, what does it really take to do this? Because at the time, you had so many different app developers, app dev companies, people who jumped in, they were building it. A lot of them are still just kind of transferring what they had done in past lives into this new world. They were building a lot of things that broke. So we ended up being, we were charging, a premium because what we were doing, we had some of the best people, some of the best developers in the world, and people were like, that's expensive, what you're doing. Yes, it can be expensive. So we started seeing a couple of things happen. One was the people who wanted the quality, the security, the enterprise grade were absolutely willing to pay for it because they knew how hard it was. They may have tried it themselves. They may try to find the talent, and they couldn't do it. So we were the go-to. Or they would try it themselves, fail miserably, and be live, and then have a 911 and pick up the phone and call someone like us to help fix it. And that happened recently with the World Cup. Won't mention any names, but there's been many instances where, back in my hometown, I'll give you a quick story. Old Leo used to be the Old Leo barber shop in my small little town. He was the only place to get a haircut for years. And I loved sitting up there and listening to the old guys. So I learned politics and everything else. And he only charged $7 for a haircut. And I remember when a new salon came in town across the street, and she had a big sign she put up, $5 haircut. And Leo just kind of snickered and, remained humble. Been doing it for so long. But a lot of people went over there. Not too long after that, Leo had put up a sign because he'd seen enough migration back to him that said, $7 haircuts. We fix $5 haircuts. So that was his marketing strategy. That's kind of what's happened to Phunware. When you understand that it does cost to make sure it works well, you're willing to pay a premium for good quality, the outcomes are going to be better for you, your customer engagement, your employees, whatever that may be. And we're more than happy to come back and fix those $5 haircuts when we have to. But we hope now with the brand that people will start to recognize and understand that actually they'll just start with us and not have to go through the pain and suffering, learning what not to do.
Yeah, that's great, because I was going to ask you, how do you get the customers over the hump to help them, address these fears and challenges?
They get themselves over, and partners too. We have a lot of great partners, Cisco and WWT and Verizon, and they have, they talk to everybody. Everybody comes in, wants to be on, be a SKU on their GPL, right? And it's hard for them to even tell what works and what doesn't. We spent years with some of those companies, and they've seen good quality work from us. and try others and come back. It happens, and you're supposed to go shop around and look for the best bargain. But we find in this particular space, when you're trying to service the Fortune 1000 install base and market at the level that we're building applications and the coding that we're doing, you have to be extremely good, forthright, customer-centric, design-led, stable and secure. And I can't tell you there's not many of those out there that can say they can do that. And if they are doing that, some of them may be one of our partners that are getting it through us.
So what is it about Phunware that makes it possible for them or you as a company to do this for your clients?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to kind of break it down into a couple of T's.
Okay.
Of course, the timing in the market, right? That's a market thing. We're in this app-centric world, and we were there at the beginning, and we're still here, and it's still going strong. So it's a great market to be in, good growing, thriving market. Then there's the team. Remember, I started off with the core genesis of a strong team, and technology is made up of not just technology, but technologists that go hand in hand. You can't do one without the other. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a very strong team. The next thing is the technology. Have you built good technology? Have you stabilized that? Have you made that where it's reusable and it's integration friendly? All those things. And that's where a lot of the IP, as a product person, I came from product management background. That's what always impressed me about all these years of watching Phunware is all this great technology. And then finally, the temperament. Does the team who's in the right market at the right time and has built the right technology, can they keep and retain and recruit really good people? That temperament is key, and that's the secret. I think that Phunware has always managed. If you've got two founders have been together for 10 years in the same company in a space that's just highly volatile and thriving and lots of consolidation, and they're still putting out great technologies, they're still growing top-line revenue growth, and it's got good referenceable customers. That's not just that's a purple unicorn, so it's very rare. So I would tell you about Phunware. When I did my assessment before I joined was I made sure it had the right timing, the right market, the right time, had the right team in place from a core leadership and the temperament to bring in and retain and train good people. And that's what I've looked at, and that's how I feel about it. That's why I joined.
Okay, well, great. I mean, what you're describing sounds like that there's a big focus on the capabilities of the staff to grow and mature the team to be able to continue delivering quality services and products to your customers.
Yeah. So the kind of the Phunware family, as we call it, is a tight team. It's a small group. It's still a very small company. We're just a little over 100 people, 124, 126, producing an amazing amount of work. Right. Majority of the company, I think 80% of us made up of some level of development or coding or UI or UX. So it's a small, flat leadership team that's been together and known each other for quite a while, had some great successes together. They all know that what success looks like and has been there. They know this is going to continue to grow and be a success. I think that the key thing for the company going forward is to be able to let everybody know about it. It's one thing to have great technology, great technologists, but the market's got to know about it. And that's where guys like me come in. And they shout from the top of the roof, in that marketing way, that this is what we do and how good we are at it. And we'll win. We can get in there. If you give us a shot, we'll take on anybody. We'll win. We're very competitive as a company, probably more than usual. And that's good. That's one of the reasons why I joined was because of a strong competitive company.
So
and wanted to take on a Salesforce and wanted to take on a Google. And we're winning deals against those. I don't know if you listen to our financial reports or listen to what our CEO's been saying. We're beating some of the biggest companies in the world based on quality. It's not on price. It's not on, we can get it done in 30 seconds, right?
Mm.
It takes time to build good stuff, and we're winning, and we're beating some of the biggest, the big Salesforces and Googles of the world should be very concerned.
Cool. So I noticed you've kind of rebranded yourself because you used to have on your website or the LinkedIn profile you were a possibilitarian. So now you're VP of marketing. So, but are you still thinking of yourself as a possibilitarian?
Oh, that'll never leave. That'll never leave. I'm always looking for what's possible and helping people reach what's possible and think about those terms. That's kind of the never give up, always to infinity and beyond kind of approach I take in life. However, when I work in the startup community, the venture capital community, I'm very much in the headspace of helping others reach their potential, service orientation. That comes from a product management DNA. That's where I came into technology, was a software product manager almost 20 years ago, working for a great Bay Area company, Unicorn. So when you're a product manager background and you're a possibilitarian and you've got the gift of gab, you end up gravitating to more outbound marketing. So for many years, I've been doing product marketing, outbound marketing, CMO, VP marketing. That's how most people know me. Know me as a product manager, a business person with technical acumen who can really bring great products to market and let people know that, work well with the analysts, work well with teams. So as a VP of marketing, which is kind of where I'm mostly known for and what I do, it's enabled me to have that same positive outlook that we can do this every day, feet to the ground, let's go and work together and get it done, but also do something I love to do and I'm good at. Patty Israel, one of my favorite mentors, another great ex-HBer, the youngest and first female HBGM under Lou Platt. She's one of my favorite mentors, and she says, you got to have your purpose. When you feet it the ground every day, you got to know what you're going to go do and how you're going to do it and be thinking about it. And I think about what she's taught me over the years and apply it. She's also a great CMO, and I apply it to my job, and I try to cascade that down to the people I work with and around me. And I love marketing. I love to do it.
Great. So that's, you were talking before we started about the defining moments you had. So could you relate about, going back to childhood and what epiphany occurred to bring you to where you are today?
Well, you made me think of something. When I was 10, 11 years old, so it would have been like 30 years ago, I would have been sitting on the back of a tractor pulling a bush hog right now in the hot August sun, melting, miserable. My dad had a hobby farm, and I was there to help him, take care of fences, take care of cows, horses, feed, bale hay, all those great things. It was hot, dirty work. And I realized sitting out there on that tractor, because you have a lot of time to think, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to work out and, I want to be somewhere. Where's the air conditioning at? Right? So at that time, I realized I need to be able to make sure I get a good education, good experiences, and be able to work in an environment that I could thrive and have a long, productive work life versus a very short one that I've experienced as a manual laborer on the back of a tractor, because I wouldn't have made it past 30 doing that kind of work. So as soon as I could, I found the coolest job you can find in Texas, and that was working in a grocery store. Started out bagging groceries, and I had a great time, loved it, and then ended up in the frozen food section and dairy department, and that was amazing because that's the coolest place you could work in Texas. Ever since then, I've tried very hard to make sure that I can stay in those types of cool environments where there's air conditioning and not having to deal with all the heat. I don't know how the people do it when they're out on the roof in August, especially the redhead guys. I don't know how they do that in August. It's got to be miserable.
Well, there's no body water left. So let's just start now. You've been through the entrepreneurial startup, and you've seen things that work and see things that haven't worked. So could you just talk about what are some of the common pitfalls that startups and entrepreneurs should avoid as they go through this journey?
Oh boy, yeah, I've been blessed in my career. A lot of people have helped me, so I do my best to help others as well, because we never get there alone. And there's always someone that's had a big impact on us. I'm hoping that can be that for lots of people in my network. But I've had a great career where I've got to spend about half of my technology career working in scrappy startups that either went on to do great things or went bust. And the other half in big, large, Fortune 1000 type companies like HP. So I've got to see a lot of interesting things and work with a lot of great people. And one of the things I can tell you from a startup mentality, or let's just take it a founder, or a leader who's got a very small team, you really have to think about it in terms of, can I manage myself? Right? A lot of people think about, I'm trying to manage a company, I'm trying to manage a team. That's how most of our leadership training and management training starts. But really, what I tell them is, can you manage yourself? If you can manage yourself, then you can manage a team. You can manage a team, you can manage a company. Right? So I don't start them off on the P&L and how to get towards profitability or how to drop top line revenue. I start with them saying, can you manage yourself? And if you can't, it's okay. Go swim in your lane. You're the technology person and you like to code. There's no reason for you to have to be the CEO other than ego or vanity. Bring in someone who can do that. So can you recruit your first founder? And I'm a big believer in what Josh at Capital Factory and others have said. If you can't convince someone to stop what they're doing and come join you on your adventure, then you're going to have a very hard time being a startup founder. Because you need partners, you need people to be able to do what you're going to do. Technology and technologists, they go hand in hand. So once I've kind of got them how it takes to manage yourself, and that's a lot to do with discipline and work ethic and communication skills, then we start talking about managing the team, managing people around you, being able to do those things. And then we can start talking about the bigger thing. We can talk about the business and so on. That's a formula that I know big consulting companies have used. That's a formula I didn't make up. It's been around for quite a long time. But I reverse it by saying, don't start with the business. Don't start with the P&L. Don't start with the top line revenue, which is where everybody wants to go. Start actually with yourself. Make sure you're in the right place where you need to be able to manage the people around you, work with the people around you. And then you'll be able to take that business to the next level. Sure. Because that's what really makes a lot of these companies succeed or fail. It's based on people. They got great technology, great ideas, a great market, but they couldn't put together the team because they didn't have the temperament to be able to pull it off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing too is, you start focusing on the P&L. Those may not even be the right measures to be looking at to understand what's actually going on, and that's what you commonly call the vanity metrics, because you feel good about it, but it doesn't really give you any insight into what you need to do internally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. I know I brought up HP a couple of times, right? And it was Bill and Dave and later Lou Platt. But when I came into HP, none of those guys were there. And were there. It was a whole new, different management team. And that leader, who ended up leaving in a very shameful way, he was very good at increasing shareholder value. He was very good at running by spreadsheet. He was very good at, selling the buildings, burning the furniture, cutting costs, buying companies, and getting revenues. And he's still good at that kind of stuff. But he was not a leader that people wanted to work for. Not someone that they admired because they were a good person. He had none of the HP way of doing that. And he made a lot more sense in a different type of company and culture that he's in now. I think he's found his place there. But again, that's what they look for and identify. And they want it. And what people want, shareholders may want that in some cases. And that's fine because he can produce those metrics and those results and those outcomes. A lot of times it's short-lived, right? Someone else is going to come in later and kind of clean all that up and fix the company if it's not too broken, right? And HP was broken pretty bad by some of those behaviors. So sometimes they can't recover. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were relating earlier about the some of the HP and the videos that you watched about the origins of the company. And that's what happens. You start out, the startups have that energy and that mindset and vision, and then you get kind of they become dinosaurs. And then they're more focused on the wrong thing, and you end up losing. Amazon is in that position now that they've got to really be concerned that they're going to lose out to the next competitor.
Certainly. Yeah, there's always someone coming. That's the nature of business. Always a competition. There's always going to be someone that can do it better, faster, cheaper. Any technology being built right now is better than anything that was built 24 months ago in the same space. It's better architect, it's leaner, it's done better. So that's how it works. And with HP, I think they're probably the best case study because they did kind of beget the whole technology industry. They did bring together what as Silicon Valley and venture capital and management by walking around and profit sharing. So many things Bill and Dave were able to do. And a lot of their key tenets were to hire really good, smart people and pay them well to kind of take compensation off the table so they can focus on doing their job. Management sets the goal, X marks the spot, and then get out of people's way and let them go do their jobs and do it well. A lot of respect, for what they were able to do. And I think I told you the story before, but I'll tell you again that, it really started very young for Bill and Dave. After war, the video I was mentioning is a part of the HP kind of heritage. And I encourage you to go out and watch it. It's on YouTube. HP way or the HP history. And he talked about post-World War II, bringing together the top leaders in the country to kind of figure out what was business going to be like, what was the economy going to be like. And they brought these folks together, a small group, I think it was just around 100, a lot of robber barons and railroad barons and financial barons, old money and some new. And Bill was there. He was young. He was in his mid to late 20s. And they went around the room because they said, we're going to set a common, definition of what the purpose of business is, the purpose of leadership in business. And they went around and everyone said the same thing, increase shareholder value and make sure investors give return on investment and so on. And they almost skipped him because he was so young, but he stood up and said, I respectfully disagree with my peers. The purpose of business is to take care of your customers, take care of your employees, and take care of the communities that we operate in. And if you do that, the business physics won't let you fail. Bulletproof your success. And they laughed him out of the room. They thought it was a joke. And he would, of course, go back, to Palo Alto and build one of the most amazing companies and the most amazing technology regions in the world, along with lots of other smart, great people who felt the same way. And we've seen the last few weeks, this summer come out where people are redefining, they're calling it the millennial approach to how the purpose of business, but they're redefining that. They're saying a lot of things that Bill and Dave were saying, in the 50s. Yeah. So it's taken us a while, and technology has had a wonderful influence, also has its significant dangers and threats, but it's done a great job with great leadership because some of the brightest and smartest people in the world have been attracted to this industry. I just love being a part of it.
Okay. All right, so let's go back again a little bit. So thinking about your life, what did you learn early on that influences the way you approach business today?
So Henry, you have to repeat that. You kind of cut out on me for a second.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might have been. Okay, so thinking about, going back over your life, what experience did you have that still influences the way you approach business today?
Oh, okay. Well, so I've mentioned several mentors and companies that I admire, and where I kind of got, that's where my DNA is making it stays with you, especially the positive good experiences. So one of the key tenets, though, and this is something that was inculcated into a very young age, was be nice to people because you're nice, not because they deserve it. And that goes a long ways. My father was always an advocate of meet as many people as you can. You never know who's going to need you or that you're going to need. So he was teaching young farmhand networking, right, in a small town. And it's those things that have been very helpful to me, being able to communicate with people and help people and deciding whether I should be helping them or not. That's probably as I've gotten older and a little bit more wisdom, is there was always a, can I help this person? But the last 10 years has been, should I help this person? Because you don't want to help bad actors, and you don't want to help the wrong people. And that's what I would tell people, is that you think about, if you're service oriented, you're a networker, and you have a service orientation, and you want to help people. Being a product manager is a great career field to go into, and it can lead you into being, CMO, a CEO, and so on. And approach it just like you would in a networking situation or anything. How can I help this person? If I can help this person, great. Or do I know someone who can help them? That type of thing. But as you kind of start to learn, you get older, and you start to see things, with a little bit more wisdom, you start asking, should I help this person? Are they the right type of person that would deserve the kind of help and my time and my commitment to? So I'm very selective in how I do my associations and the companies I work with and for. It's very selective in why I chose Phunware. So that would be, I didn't do it, because I'm looking for a great title or money, or all those things will come if you do a great job. But what's important is picking the right people you want to help and you want to work with and be around every day.
Okay, great. So it kind of calls to mind some of the advice I got early on in my career is basically don't make anybody mad because you don't know who you're going to work for.
That's true. Be nice to people because you're right. We're all working for you and your company next, and then somebody else. So try to be nice to everybody.
So what does success look like for Brent Brightwell today?
Oh boy. So that definition has always changed. It changes as you age or your situation changes. Success has never been about money. That's probably why I'm not rich. So, but success for me is always being able to take care of my family. I'm married almost 18, 19 years now. Got 2 great children, and every day I think, you know what? If I do a great job, what I'm doing, that's the best way for me to be able to provide and take care of my family. So it's a perfect ransom. If my employer saw this right now, they're I figured it out. You know, he's working for his family. And people say that all the time, oh, they work for their family. No, you really have to think of it in those terms, because it's going to motivate you to do things that your body may not be prepared to do, and your mind may be tired and sick to push through. I'm doing this for someone that I care and love and I want to take care of. You're not going to take shortcuts. You're going to do quality work. You're going to do all the things it needs, because if you do a great job, then hopefully you'll stay gainfully employed, and then you're able to take care of them. So success for me has always been about making sure that my wife and my kids and those people that I'm responsible for have what they need. And then there's a broader successes. Are they able to go do what they need to do in school, community service, and others? So it's enabling others in my sort of circle. And that goes back to what I was telling you earlier about making sure you're enabling the right people. You're helping the right people with the right way. I think that success long term for me will be, can my kids, my children, be able to do much better than what I've done, break any of the cycle or bad habits that they may have adopted from me or something, and be able to go and stand on the shoulders and do something even better. And they have success. That's how I would look at it. From a company standpoint, when I get involved in the company, especially what I love and I'm passionate about, my family comes and helps. Right? The set you're looking at me now is something my 15-year-old set up and help me work on it over time. So I get them involved in it so they can see what we're really all working towards and how everything's connected together and how important the work is, the company success is to our own personal lives. Okay.
So how long have you been with Phunware now?
Gosh, I think I'm coming up on my 90-day. I'm getting close to my 90-day mark.
Okay.
So as a head of marketing or executive, you always have that's a big milestone. What have you gotten accomplished in 90 days? It's like QBR. So I'm pretty excited about the 90-day. I'm so excited about the company because we're doing so many interesting things in so many areas, working with so many great customers. But yeah, it's been a few months.
Yeah, so do you have any measurable outcomes that you can share that you've achieved over that 90 days?
Sure. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier about people just need to know about us, right? That's about awareness. Marketing kind of comes down to kind of 2 areas. Awareness, so people know about you, and then getting the demand gen, lead gen, right? Getting the leads. And it's hard to do the demand gen if no one's heard of you, especially to convert these leads into something that a salesperson can actually work on, because we're still very much a direct sale and indirect through partners. Okay. People have to say, oh yeah, I've heard, and y'all have good quality stuff. So one of my first goals was to have a balance of those, was to build on the awareness at the same time while generating the level of leads that needed. I would say from the metrics around awareness, we're doing a very, very good job. Right? We put out a lot of good quality content, and we've got a lot of awareness that's going on in the market. It's just very positive, the positive feedback that we're seeing. And people are starting to call us, whether it may be people who've worked with us in the past and want to come back, partners who said, gosh, I've got an opportunity for you. Those things are coming in because of that awareness. And then we're driving specific campaigns towards targeted market segments like healthcare and others that are bearing really good fruit, which is starting to get our salespeople more excited, and they're starting to not have to produce all their own leads. These are starting to come from marketing and marketing contributed pipeline. And if we continue doing that, we don't quit, we keep going, and keep making good decisions, that will just start building a compound effect. We'll start to see larger revenue results that come from the company. You'll start to see much more bigger branding opportunities for us. So it's still TBD.
Yeah.
Right? We're 90 days into my tenure, but I'm coming in working with a company that's done so much themselves, right? That what got us here, I've got to help us get us to the next step.
Very good. You know, it's kind of an unfair question because it's only 90 days, but I was just wanting to see what you're seeing there. So now we're running out of time, so we could keep going on and on, but I want to be mindful of your time today. So how can people contact you, Brent, if they want to learn more about you or about Phunware?
Absolutely. So yes, please always, reach out to me anytime. I'm a working guy, so I'm very accessible and very responsive. Phunware is PHUNWARE.com is our website. You can find me on LinkedIn by just putting my name in, Brent Brightwell. My email address is bbrightwell@phunware.com. Those are the best ways to reach me is LinkedIn, email, of course, going to our website, because anything that happens there, I get notification.
Okay, well, great, Brent. Thank you so much today for your fascinating stories and experience. I really appreciate it. I like your advice, about customers, taking care of the customers, taking care of your business, your employees, and the community, coming out of HP with that. That's just a wonderful attitude. So thank you so much for your time today.
And it was wonderful speaking with you again. I look forward to our next conversation.